For all of you who say ZANE ain't OP, I don't know what you guys are talking about. You just don't have the right build. But luckily for you guys, I'm going to tell you what that is. Esiva, this is LaserBolt, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my endgame build for ZANE. Now, I've seen a lot of videos out there, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, telling you guys that this is the correct build for ZANE. The majority of the people making content for ZANE haven't been playing with ZANE. And I've seen a couple videos where it shows you them killing the boss, but all they're doing is lobbing a nade, and that's not a ZANE build. And then when you get to the endgame like Proven Grounds, or you get to the Slaughter, you get wiped because you have your build completely messed up. But luckily for you guys, I have you guys completely covered because we do have a ton of hours playing with ZANE, and this build's going to make your ZANE go crazy good when you're playing endgame content. It's going to be very important that you have the right gear. We're going to go over the gear, we're going to go over the weapons, and all the stuff that you need to do in order to make your ZANE OP. Now, before we go and dive into the build, I want to remind you guys about our giveaway. We're giving away 2 free copies of Shadowkeep for the system of your choice. To enter and participate, it's super easy. All you gotta do is click the link down below where it says Join Bold Nation, and you guys will be automatically entered. Now, if that wasn't enough to get you guys excited, we have exclusive features only found on the channel, like these amazing emotes and badges that you're able to use throughout whole YouTube. So definitely try to tap into that, plus other features that are only found in the channel. And big shout out and thank you to everybody who has already joined. You guys are amazing. Thank you for the awesome support. Now, if you ever want to stop by and check how these builds are made, or just check high-end level content or gameplay for Borderlands or any loot and shooter or FPS, definitely check us out over on Mixer. We stream very frequently, so make sure you guys hit us up with that follow. The link is down below in the description. Now, one of the biggest issue people have when making a ZANE build is that they don't know that ZANE is supposed to be super duper OP with CRYO. Now, the interesting thing about this is knowing how to put the build together so you could get the most out of it. That's what we're going to be focusing on this build. We're going to be maxing up his cryo damage and giving us the ability to deal extensive amount of damage with that ability. Just like the other characters, each character has a specific element that makes them super OP, and for ZANE, that is cryo damage. So let's take a look at this build and see what we're going to be focusing on. So we're going to be doing a barrier and sentinel build. And what this is going to allow us to do is get a lot of damage. Now, you'll understand the build once we put it together. We're going to start off with the Hitman Tree. Now, on the first row of the Hitman Tree, we're going to start with Violent Speed. Kill skills. After killing an enemy, ZANE gains increased movement speed for a few seconds, making us move very often. Now, remember, when you're playing as ZANE, you want to stay mobile. I've seen people do builds with ZANE where they're just standing still. That is not how you play with ZANE. With ZANE, you gotta move, 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 and shoot, move, and shoot. Now, staying in the same row, we're also gonna go with Violent Momentum. What this is gonna do, it's gonna give ZANE gun damage. It's gonna give ZANE gun damage while he's moving. Once again, the more you're moving, the more damage you'll be able to deal out. Now, for row number 2, we're gonna go with Salvation. Another kill steal. After killing an enemy, ZANE's weapon gains lifesteal for a few seconds. Of course, this is almost always important when putting a build together. Then we have the next one, which is called Death Follows Close. All ZANE kill skills gain increased effect and duration. As you guys see the synergy going on here, we're getting a lot of kill skills, right? Then we're going to move it down to the other one down here. And this is going to be another kill skill. After killing an enemy, ZANE gains increased fire rate for a few seconds. This is actually pretty effective for some weapons, especially the ones we're going to be using for this particular build. And the last one we're going to do is Good Misfortune. Kill skills, kills an enemy, increases ZANE's action skill duration. This is going to allow our sentinel and our barrier to stay active. Alright, so now onto the shield. Now for the shield, we're going to be rocking the first one, which is called Adrenaline. ZANE gains increased action skill cooldown rate. Once again, we're going to be having our skills come back very frequently. Then we're going to be doing another one called Hardly Stock. ZANE gains increased maximum shield capacity. This is going to be very important because it's going to make our shield go really, really high. Then we have Ready for Action. ZANE gains improved shield recharge rate and shield recharge delay. That means our shield's going to stay as active as we can. You're not going to notice that you're going to be going down with this build because this build is also meant to keep you alive. Now, on the second row, guys, we're going with Stiff Upper Lip. When ZANE is damaged, he gains damage resistance against the damage type. Really effective for those bosses or those enemies that kind of throw, corrosive damage, cryo or shock or fire, or any sort of damage is just going to keep you alive. Next, we're going to go with Confident Competence. While ZANE's shields are active, he gains increased gun damage and accuracy. Of course, this is definitely very important because we're going to be keeping our shields alive. Trust. Then we have Ready Expensive Jacket. Elemental status effects applies to Zane. Have reduced duration. Very good to keep you alive. Best Serve Cold. Kill skills. Whenever Zane kills an enemy, they create a Cryo Nova. Remember, we're doing a lot of cryo here, so that's going to be very important. When we kill someone, they're going to freeze to death. Then we have Futility Belt. Zane gains resistance to non-elemental damage. Really important as well. And then we have Refreshment. Whenever Zane damages a frozen enemy with his weapon, he gains some of that damage back as health. Really important because we're using cryo a lot in this build, and that's going to allow us to get our health from killing enemies and from causing them to die. Then we have Cool, Call, and Collective. This is by far one of the best named skills out there. But anyways, whenever Zane freezes an enemy, his shield instantly begins recharging. We're going to be doing a lot of freezing, and we're going to be doing a lot of shield regeneration because that's the whole point of this build. Now, the cool thing about this, now, if his shield is already completely full, he's still going to regenerate health for a few seconds. Now, if Zane's health is completely full, his action skill cooldown and duration are immediately reset. This is going to make your abilities come back really, really fast because if your health is fully regen and you're proccing this, you're going to be getting this back to back to back. And last on this tree, we're going to do Nerves of Steel. Zane gains increased accuracy and handling. The longer his shield is full, the greater the bonus. This is going to be primarily just focusing on you not lacking on any recoil because some of the guns that are really good for Zane tend to have a lot of recoil. And that pretty much wraps up our build. Now let's take a look at the gear he's going to be using. So for the gear, the weapons we have at the current moment is, of course, we have the Flacker. We have this one, which is really, really good. And then we also have the Arctic Dauntless Night Hawking. These are by far one of the best weapons and one that I use very often. I will have a separate video going over the best weapons for Zane to use. But for this one in particular, I just wanted to mention those two, primarily the ones I'm going to be using a lot. Now, as far as our shield, we're going to be using the Transformer. The one we have right now is the one that almost everybody's running, is by far one of the best ones. And I like that this fact that this one's anointed. It says when action skill ends, regenerate 5% of max health per second for a short time. Really going to keep you alive. It's going to convert your shock damage into shields, and it's just going to pretty much keep you alive. Now for our class mod, we have Scattered Prepared Cold Warrior. The reason I'm running this one is because I'm getting a plus 25 weapon damage with this one, and I'm getting a plus 31 SMG damage. One of my favorite weapons is an SMG. This is giving me a total of 56% just on weapon damage, so it's really effective for that. Now, if I had an ability to find another one of these that had a better attribute for like weapon damage and cryo damage, that is definitely the one I would go with. Now, for our artifact, we're going with Snowdrift Splattergun. This one's actually really good and one that I'm happy with. I mean, I would probably like to see a little bit more bonus damage, but other than that, I'm happy. It gives us a plus 73% cryo damage. It gives us a sliding speed, not that important, but it's pretty good because the more mobile we are, the better. Cooldown is 5 seconds, and it also gives us a plus 50% shotgun damage while sliding. This one, I wish we had a different one, but we don't. And the cool thing about this one, it gives us a plus 17 heavy damage, which is something I don't like because I really don't use heavy. It also gives us a plus 16 incendiary damage, not that important as well. And it gives us a plus 21% action skill cooldown rate. That's the only thing that I really like about those attributes. If I could find one with at least SMG damage, shotgun damage, or cryo damage, I would definitely be completely satisfied if that was the case. Now, to round this all up, for our grenade, we're using Surge. This is a grenade that has cryo efficiency, and it explodes and impact really, really good, especially since we're doing a lot of cryo damage. You're going to want to have a nade that does cryo as well. Now, there are a couple things here that I'm still missing to make this the most optimal build. I wish I had a better artifact, just with those attributes I mentioned. I wish I had a better class mod, not in the sense of the mod itself, but in the attributes that come with it, just a little bit different. And I'm still looking for another weapon that's going to tie this whole complete build together. But overall, in general, this build pretty much wrecks, and I highly recommend you guys test this out. It's going to be awesome for Mayhem 3, Proven Grounds, any late game content. This build is the one that's going to save your life and keep everybody frozen to death until your heart's content. Now, I do have builds for other characters. I have a Moe's build for endgame content. We have a Flak build coming up your way. And we also have an Amara build, so make sure you guys stay tuned for those videos. Remember, once again, guys, if you want to see how these builds are made or just want to chill, relax, and step by the stream, We stream on Mixer, so definitely check us out. The link is down below in the description.